think we're going to get started. So thank you. We're really excited to have you all here and to celebrate the players and the game with the Smarter DC Challenge. So I'm Anka Novakovic with EcoCoach, and I co-manage the challenge with Patty Rose, who leads Green Space. And we're also excited to have here Professor Lindsay Grace and his team. Where's Aubrey and Cole? There's Aubrey, and Cole, I think, is outside. And they're going to be leading us through some exercises to help with sustainability and gamification. If you're not familiar with the Smarter DC Challenge, we are a district-wide, peer-to-peer and online challenge to support sustainability within the district. It is sponsored by DOEE, or DOEE, and by Sustainable DC. And really the purpose of it is to engage workplaces and buildings in upping their sustainability game and also to grow sustainability in the district. Many of those present here have been part of the Sustainability Leadership Program. And actually, before we get started, we wanted to acknowledge you, so if you could stand up for a second. Yay! So the Sustainability Leadership Program is essentially folks who are leaders in sustainability, as the term says, who have also supported the challenge, who have supported other participants in the challenge, and who have been champions. And so we thank you all for that. By the way, also be sure to check us out at smarterdcchallenge.com if you are not familiar with the challenge. And we also hope that you're going to be able to join us in the fun. And if you do want to join, and if you want to sign up, definitely either see myself or see Patty, or you can see Stephanie over here, and then John, who is outside, and you can sign up with all of us. And I also wanted, before we get started, to acknowledge a few special guests in the room. Mary Beth DiLorenzo, there you are. The new Deputy Director of Urban Sustainability Administration. Mary Beth will be doing the honor of handing out the awards later on for the Challenge Sustainability Leaders. So that's the second part of the day where we're going to be celebrating the players. Right now, we're going to be starting off with celebrating the game. And since it's Mary Beth's first official appearance in her new role, we feel very, very special to have her here. So thank you. And actually, we'd love to have you say a couple words before we keep moving on. So. Thank you.
I'm Maribeth DiLorenzo, and as Anka mentioned, I'm the Deputy Director for the Urban Sustainability Administration at DOEE, Department of Energy and Environment. So I'm delighted to be here with you. I'm joining DOEE from the Department of Housing and Community Development, where I worked on the Green Building Advisory Council as a Director's designee for a number of years. So some of you I've had the pleasure of working with, and some of you I haven't had the pleasure of working with yet, but I very much look forward to it. So thank you for your warm welcome. I'm thrilled to be in this role and to help you all support a more sustainable DC through the Smarter DC Challenge. Thank you.
And we, a little bit later on, will also be hearing from Melinda Bowling, who's the Director of DCRA. And she is, I think she's running a little bit late. And Brianne Nadeau, who is council member of Ward 1, is actually on her way. So she should be here in about 5-10 minutes. And she's gonna, both of these community leaders have really supported sustainability within the district, and they're also part of the challenge. So we're excited to have them on board.
I wanted to introduce Scott Pomeroy, who is from the Downtown DC BID, and he has been our stalwart partner and cheerleader in this effort, and he is going to introduce our special guest.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to introduce our very good friend of mine who was the founder of Sustainable U Street and who has a deep commitment to sustainability, and we're very fortunate to have her as one of our city council members, Brianne Nadeau.
Thank you, Scott. It is my privilege to be here, and I can tell you that I wouldn't be here at all if it weren't for Scott. Not only because he kept nudging me and nudging me and nudging me to get my office into the Smarter DC Challenge, but also because he was one of my first advisors when I was a neighborhood commissioner who told me definitely not to run for council because it's a crazy job. And I did it anyway, and then he was one of my biggest supporters. So I thank you for that and for all the guidance that you've given me over the years. And so I do lovingly call myself an environmental nerd. I grew up in Michigan, and so growing up on the lake and as a Girl Scout, I was very, very cognizant of our natural resources and how important it is to protect them so that we can enjoy them. And as Scott mentioned, I did begin that initiative on U Street, Sustainable U, that brought people together to talk about these issues in our business corridor, and we've got our fingers crossed now that a U Street bid is emerging that will be able to take on some of those collaborations that we had to leave behind when I joined the council, because now we're focusing on even bigger ones. But we were really excited to do this in the office, and I should say one of the things in my new job, I get to be involved in all kinds of different things. So I was just appointed by the mayor to the local government advisory committee that advises the Chesapeake Bay Council. So I was in West Virginia for 2 days last week, which is a whole nother story. But to be a part of that group is really inspiring, because what we are supposed to be doing in that body is talking with our peers, and for me that means my fellow council members and also the advisory neighborhood commissioners in the district, about what it's going to take to protect the bay and keep our water clean, and what each of our roles will be as different mandates come down at the state level. So that's been very exciting. But as far as the Smarter DC Challenge, after Scott bugged me about 3 or 4 times, I said, oh yeah, of course we'll do this. And I really think it's such a smart way to get different government offices involved. So first of all, thank you guys for leading this, and congratulations on the participation. I think let's give everyone a round of applause. What I love about the program is that it makes sustainability accessible to people through very small pieces and little things you can do each day. And in our office, it really encouraged a conversation about what we're already doing and also how we can step it up and do more. So Tom Fazzini in my office, if you guys have ever done anything with our office, you might have met our Deputy Chief Tom. He led the charge here. He formed a green team in our regular weekly staff meeting. They talked about their progress and brainstormed small ways we can improve our carbon footprint, whether it was the reusable mugs. You know, my mug collection, which is normally on display, became more functional. So if you come into the office, you'll see people drinking coffee out of all my mugs from the cabinet, or encouraging alternative modes of transit. You know, we run around all day, and sometimes we take our cars, but we try to ditch the cars as often as we can, and most of my staff uses transit to get to the office. And of course, we participated through social media, which everybody loves because it feels good and it's easy to do when some of the bigger things are harder to accomplish. So we also got points for having live plants in our office, and I can tell you that the most important thing with that part of the challenge was making sure that I wasn't in charge of keeping them alive. So that was part of the strategy too. But I'm really proud that the John A. Wilson building, where the council and the mayor sit, is already taking some great steps in sustainability. In fact, they recently came through and replaced all our power strips. So now we are using a lower energy power strip for all of our energy sucking devices. You know, we all turn our computers off at night, and we're being really mindful of that as we do our work in the Wilson building. So I felt like the challenge for us was a really good way to jumpstart that conversation about sustainability. And it might not have happened, you know, as busy as we are, it might not have happened if we hadn't gotten this push to do it. And so I really appreciate all of you who came together, all of you who participated, those of you who nudged me to do it in our office. And I really think that by even one office doing it, we're demonstrating to others that it can be done. And as we continue this over the years, that we'll get more participation, that we will multiply our impact, and that we can have an incredible impact across the district and the region. I should mention I'm also on the Metro Washington Council of Governments Air Quality Board. Our meeting is later today, and we're talking a lot, and talk about wonky and nerdy. We're talking a lot about air quality and parts per billion and all of that. And so, you know, this is just one piece of that, but we're making strides, and it's because of smart people that push us to do these things. So thank you for including me, and thank you for letting me join you today. And I'm sorry to run, but we have the Mayor Council breakfast, and I'm already late. So thank you so much.
Councilman Bernardo, before you go, we want to make sure to give you a lovely token of our appreciation that you've participated in the Smarter DC Challenge. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
We'd like to now introduce Director Melinda Bowling, who's going to make some remarks to us this morning. Director Bowling is the Director of the Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs, which you know if you've done any kind of business transaction or permitting within the district. Director Bowling, before becoming director, was the general counsel there. She has a JD from Catholic University of America, and she's a Ward 7 resident. So if you would warmly join me in welcoming her, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for Mary Beth for the introduction and Patty for the invitation here. At DCRA, she's basically giving you an overview with the building department and with the licensing department for all non-health professional licenses. And so on our building department side, I see some of our esteemed staff here today. We have what we call a part of our permitting process is a green building program. And that is where we put most of our efforts to help build sustainability here in the District of Columbia, and how buildings are permitted and how they're designed such that they comply with the Green Building Act, the Green Construction Code, and Energy Conservation Code. And even though the Energy Code has been there for a number of years, we've just started our enforcement pretty significantly recently. And we're doing a lot of training in that effort because we want DC to be a leader and to be the greenest, most sustainable city in the nation, if not worldwide. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to come here today and to address you. And if you have any questions for me, let me know, or dcra.dc.gov or melinda.bowling@dc.gov. Hit me up, ask questions, and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Director Bowling. I'm going to make very brief comments. Like Professor Grace, I believe in short and sweet. That's the byword. And then we're going to move us excitingly on to the awards portion of the morning. So I just wanted to begin with some acknowledgments. Thank you to Patty Rose and Anka Novakovic for their wonderful work this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you to Professor Lindsay Grace, who I think got us all thinking in a different way than we'd thought before we came in this morning. Thanks to Scott Pomeroy, who introduced Councilmember Nadeau earlier. You may know that Scott was really instrumental for his leadership in launching the successful pilot for the, the Smarter DC Challenge, which has been continued with Anka and Patty under our Green Building Fund. The Department of Energy and Environment has a Green Building Fund grant program, which is what this program is continuing under. So thank you very much. Thank you to Director Bowling for coming and being with us here today and for understanding the importance of sustainability and building a great green team at DCRA. Many of you have worked with Director Bowling's colleagues, and we're really pleased to have that kind of infrastructure there now, so that's delightful. I know that I'm speaking to an audience that already knows all of this, so that I don't need to do too much stage setting, but you know that DC really is a leader in sustainability. We're known nationally as we're not only the capital, but we really are the capital of sustainability. We're the first in green power use among DC cities. Just a few, you could choose from many, many different statistics, just a couple. We're number 2 in LEED certified buildings in any major city. We're number 1 by far in both LEED and Energy Star in terms of looking at certified square foot per capita. We're number 1 in the amount of square feet of green roof installed in North America for 2011, 12, 13, and 14. 14 was just announced, and coming close behind us is Toronto. We have the largest scale bike sharing system in the country. And we're the first jurisdiction in the country to pass a law requiring benchmarking. And because of that, in part, our largest commercial properties are showing energy reductions of about 3% a year. So that's really successful. I think you should all give yourselves a hand for the part that you're playing. So it's clear that the private sector in the District of Columbia leads the nation. And it's no surprise that individuals who are serving as sustainability leaders and who are involved in projects like the Smarter DC Challenge are really leaders in that effort. So the Smarter DC Challenge, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, in 2013, it was launched as a pilot project of the Downtown DC Eco District and the Department of Energy and Environment. We mentioned Scott Pomeroy, who was a great early champion, also Ellen Jones and Kathleen O'Keefe. worked with Mary Lynn Wilhare, who we'd like to acknowledge from the DOE staff. All of you have been very and they collaboratively laid the groundwork, launched the website, and began engaging business owners to participate in the new Sustainable Business Program. So you know that this falls under the Sustainable DC Plan, which all of you are familiar with probably and has been referenced a few times. By 2032, we'll be, in one generation, the healthiest, greenest, and most livable city in the United States. So because of efforts like this, you know that we're already underway there. Mayor Bowser very much recognizes the importance of these kind of public-private partnerships, so we want to thank you for participating in that. And we know, like, as we're thinking about games, right, as we're changing our thinking today, as we've gotten this new knowledge, our goal is really embedding a culture of sustainability into the fabric of the community. And we're thinking about what ways do we need to change behavior, and now today we know what kind of verbs do we have to use, right? What kind of solutions are we trying to get to? What are the obstacles? What are the goals that we're trying to reach? And hopefully what you've heard today can help you really frame that in a way that says, you know, sustainability is something that can be achieved and that we can really work with people to just change behavior a little bit, sometimes through something fun like a game. That's how we're going to be able to move the needle. So we're going to transition to the very fun portion of the morning, because we get to celebrate now that this program did change behavior, right? That this was like an elaborate, the Smarter DC Challenge is like a game structure that's helped some people and organizations to really change the way they have done things. So all of the people in this room have made a substantial and meaningful impact on the sustainability of our city, and businesses are saving money. Hopefully, with the new approaches we've learned from Professor Grace, we're going to have a little more fun in the process too. So I'd like to invite Patty and Anka to come up with me, and we're going to do the fun portion where we get to say, woohoo, here's who achieved what level. Okay, so we're beginning with our organization awards. And for our organization awards, we'd like to say that #1 topping the charts is Venable LLP, and Vicki Corman is going to come up Okay, so we're just consulting on how much information, just like what's private and what we can disclose. So Venable LLP takes the lead with 6,025 points. And we have a gorgeous, thank you to Patty and Anka for framing these. We have a lovely award that we want to present to you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
John, you have us all?
Okay. All
Right.
right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, coming in, giving a real serious run for the money, we have Quinn Evans Architects at #2. Marissa Allen is going to accept that 5,800 points.
And if her associate Julia is still here, you can come up and get your photograph too. Hurry, hurry.
Great, thank you so much. Congratulations. Okay, coming in third, very powerful leaders at Westlake, Reed Liskowski. We have Roger Chang or Trevor Jaffe, who may be coming today.
Trevor.
And the points total is 5,450. Thank you. Yeah, we have the camera and the video in different spots.
Start to the right and go.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we have Optoro at 4,375 points. We have Ann Calamé or Amy Sun.
Anne.
Yay. 4,375.
Yay.
Very impressive.
Congrats.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Take it back.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Great,
much.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
And look at this, some people that I know from Department of Energy and Environment. Let's have Mary Lynn Wilhare and Jason J. Wilson come up. You should stand with them. Oh, fun, yeah.
Since you're part of the
Well,
award.
yeah, exactly. Good? Thank you. Ooh, we'll put that right up today.
Very pretty.
All right, great. Okay, we're gonna move on to the property awards next. And for the property awards, we have an organization that ran away with the lead. 8,950 points at National Geographic. Represented today by Susan Koletz. Did I get it?
enough.
How do you pronounce it for us?
Koladashik.
Koladashik, Susan Koladashik, and her colleague is with her today. Okay, Mike Curry, welcome and thank you so much.
Good, half of the points are just
Lead
Mike Curry
by
started doing it. Where are we looking?
Great, thank you very much. Okay, giving a good run for the money in number 2, the Tower Companies. Eugenia Gregorio, 5,800 points. Very The long walk.
You had to commute.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, but you did it without fossil fuel.
Human power.
Thank you
Thank you
very
Eugenia.
much. Okay, an old familiar face and a friendly one, Robin Snyder, coming in third for GSA of the National Capital Region, 5,750 points. In number 4, also General Services Administration, ATF Headquarters.
No, this one. The administration of that.
Yes, GSA National Capital Region. Okay.
And Eric
Thank you.
Marquina.
Yes, and Eric Marquina. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining
Awesome.
us.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll go and put it right up today.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so moving on to number 5, where we had a tie, or forgive me, we did not have a tie. We had just several representatives who would be here, and Diana Bolger is going to represent for the Fairmont Hotel in Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
And Raquel Vance, perfect. Thank you very much. Who's going to found the game?
Right?
That's right.
With all good eating and drinking habits.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, we have an honorary mention, and this is First Potomac Realty Trust, who couldn't be with us today, but we want to thank them very much. What's unique about them is that they had several properties participating, and they also participated as an organization. So we wanted to give a special shout out for that extra effort. So thank you very much to First Potomac Realty Trust. Okay, so now we're moving into participant awards, where we have very beautiful, healthy points totals. And these are going to have beautiful green ribbons that you can unwrap and decide which way you'd like to display them. So we're going to begin with NCPC. We saw Megan earlier, and also Diane Sullivan. And they had 4,125 points. Thank you very much. Okay. So fast, I thought we just snapped quickly. Okay, great, thank you so much. Everybody wants a photo. Okay, so coming in number 2, Mess Hall. And that's going to be, okay, well, we don't have Mr. Goldberg with us today, but congratulations to Mess Hall, 3,550 points. So very impressive. Coming in next, we have Bradley Site Design, Sharon Bradley, 2,025 points. Hooray! Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Show off that green ribbon. Great, thank you so much. Congratulations to you. We have the Willard IHG with 1,875 points. Okay, we don't have the Willard with us today, but we want to thank them very much, represented by Wes Gilmer and Katrin Moak. Next, we have the American Society of Landscape Architects, ASLA, 1,650 points. And
Yay.
I do believe we had someone from
2 people.
2 people. Okay, wonderful.
3 people.
And you said we may have Les Blackmore, Susan Cahill, and Angela Salazar? Okay.
Fantastic.
Hooray, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let's crowd in for our photo. We want to get everybody.
Let's go in the back. You can sneak in there.
Oh, yeah.
Stand in the middle. Thank you
Great,
so
thank
much.
you so
Great
much.
job.
A+. Okay, Jessica Long, the JBG Companies, 1,575 points.
Yay.
Hooray.
Yay, Jessica.
Thank you so much. Great,
Thank
you. Okay, Obi Okolo, OPX Global, 1,225 points. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're going to teach us to cook at home more. We all need that lesson. We need that game in a hurry. Okay, and next, the Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs. We have Director Bowling, and we have Jason Hoffman. 875 points.
And I think Keith's here too.
Oh, yes, and Keith is here too. Hooray. The green team, you're going to get a green ribbon.
Great.
Wonderful. Please, come on in.
Can you get us all? Yay.
Thank
Great,
you.
so
Thank you.
Okay, we want to thank all of the participants, and we're really proud of the efforts that we've had today to move the needle. And I'll just turn it over to Patty and Anka to say thank you and give us our
Jim.
farewells.
I'm wondering, Patty, if you could give us a sense for those of us who didn't necessarily participate or win, give us a sample of what these thousands of points represent. So,
Well, I think it'd be more interesting if the people that just got awards shouted out or their favorite activity that they did.
Yeah.
Diana, what did you do?
Well, in addition to our rooftop honeybees, and we use the honey in our program throughout the hotel, we just launched our own donut with honey, which is pretty exciting. It's called Be My Honey. We also have a bee teeny we serve. We purchase 100% wind power. We're constantly reducing. We have a green team meeting once a month where we go and we do create all kinds of initiatives, and we are always talking it out with all of our colleagues, and we're just very excited.
That give you a good flavor, so to speak? So that's just a sampling. There's 7 themes in the challenge. There's energy, water, waste, transportation, health and pollution prevention, education and outreach,
Innovation.
and no, the last one is purchasing, sustainable purchasing. So, thank you. I also wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here today. If there are participants in the challenge who are here who have not received your window decal for your office or your property, please come up and get one after the event is finished so that you can show the public that you are proud participants in the challenge. So thank you again.
And if you're not participating yet and you want to sign up, again, feel free to reach out to one of us even after this and sign up. Or if you have questions, we'd love to chat with you.
So thank you. That's
Thank
it.
you.